Hello everyone. I welcome you back to Learning Management System, which is initiated by Department of Collegiate and Technical Education. I'm Kavyashri from Government Polytechnic, Mulbagal. In this session, we will be discussing about the continuation of the previous session, that is stone and brick masonry. That is unit 2. Let's have a recap about the previous session. So we have seen the introduction of masonry. It is a construction of building units. Either we can use stones, bricks, solid blocks, etc. Next, in stone masonry, these are the some of the different types: stone and brick masonry, hollow and solid block masonry, and composite masonry. We have studied technical terms used in stone masonry and technical terms used in brick masonry. Let's have a brief discussion about the terms and definitions of the previous class. So we have seen the different types of masonry. In first picture, it is showing that stone masonry wall. If the building units used as stones or stones are used as a building material in the construction of masonry, then we call it as stone masonry. If we use brick as a construction material, then it is known as brick masonry. If we use precast concrete blocks, either it can be hollow or it can be solid block masonry. Solid blocks, okay, which is known as solid block masonry. And finally, composite masonry. Composite, it is a more than two material. If the wall is constructed using two or more material, then we call it as composite masonry. Next, we have studied some of the terms in stone masonry. Let us go one by one in brief. See, we have seen facing and backing of the wall. See, in this picture, you can see the face which is exposed to the weather is known as facing, and the material used for the face is known as facing. The interior side of a wall which is not exposed to the weather is known as back, and the material used for the back is known as backing. And the internal portion between the facing and backing is known as hearting. In this picture, you can see hearting in the center. Next one is through stone we have seen. It is a single stone providing from facing to backing to increase the lateral stability of the wall. That is called through stones. Next we have seen corbel. It is the projecting stone which is provided below the roof level, or we can provide below the shade. Okay, on the exterior side is known as corbel. And we have seen cornice. This is the projecting course of a wall to drain off the rainwater is known as cornice. In this picture, you can see cornice and frieze. Frieze is a horizontal stone layer which is provided immediately below the cornice is known as frieze. And the stone course which is provided immediately above the cornice is known as blocking course. It prevents the overturning of the cornice. Next, we have seen coping. It is a protecting layer provided on the wall, boundary wall, or it may be a parapet wall. Okay, to drain off the rainwater and to prevent the seepage of the water inside the wall is known as coping. Related to coping, there are other terms, that is weathering and throating. See, the horizontal, a plane inclined surface of a coping is known as weathering, and the groove which is provided underside of the cornice is known as throating. Next, We have seen some of the terms. See, this is picture showing the cross section of the wall. Here we have seen plinth level, the horizontal surface of the at the ground level, and we have seen sill. It is the bottom surface of the window or door opening, and we have seen coping, parapet wall. It is a wall provided all around the roof level. Okay, this is about the parapet wall. Next, we have seen important definitions, that is reveal and jamb. The vertical surface on the exterior side, then it is known as reveal. The same vertical surfaces which is provided from the interior of a building, then it is known as a jamb. We have seen shrinkers, horizontal projecting layer. It is provided between the plinth and the cornice at any level. It increases the strength of the wall. Next definition we have seen lacing course. It is a layer of a stone which is provided on either side, and the space between the stones we have packing it with the stone chips, which is known as spalts. The gap is known as void. Next we have seen buttress. Say this is the sloping wall or inclined wall which is provided to support the tall wall. Usually it is provided at a regular interval, is known as buttress. This is about terms used in stone masonry. Next we have studied bonds. This is the different terms used. These are the common terms used in both stone masonry and brick masonry. So we have seen course. Horizontal layer is known as course. The bottom surface of a brick or stone is known as bed. The larger side of a brick placed parallel to the face of the wall is known as stretcher. The width of the brick is known as header, or the brick laid with its longest side is perpendicular to the face of the wall is known as header. You can say in any terms or in any sentence. Next we have seen joint. Joint is a it is a junction between two or more stones is known as joints. The joints between different courses is known as horizontal joints, and the joints between the individual units of the brick or stone in a single course is known as vertical joints. The vertical joint should always be perpendicular to the horizontal course. Next, we have seen frog. It is the depression provided on the top surface of the brick that increases the stability of a course. I mean, that gives a good bond between the mortar. Next, we have seen the quoins. The exterior angle is known as quoin, and the stone provided, which is known as quoin stone. Next, we have seen closure. See, this is a full brick. If we cut brick lengthwise, then it is known as queen closure. Okay, next, if we cut the brick widthwise, then it is known as bat. Next term, we have studied raking back and the toothing. These are the finishing ends. If we provide in a stepped fashion, then it is known as raking back. If we give finishing as tooths, see alternate courses, the bricks are projecting outer side. In this picture, you can observe this is the finishing of a brick wall is known as toothing. This is about a previous session. Let's move to contents of this particular sessions. We are going to say the uses of stone masonry, classification of stone masonry, that is rubble masonry and ashlar masonry. At the end, to refresh our learning, let us go through some of the MCQs which we have done even in the last session. Okay, let's jump into the topic. Stone masonry. Stone masonry is the heart of build the structures in stones. Stones are abundantly available in nature. When you cut stones and dress into a proper shapes, then this will provide an economical material for the construction. Stone masonry, we'll see some of the uses of stone masonry. In this picture, you are seeing one of the important and one of the most famous monuments in our country, Taj Mahal, that is made up of marble, one kind of stone masonry. And stone masonry is used in building foundations, dams, monumental structures, and we can use as a building material for the construction. I mean, building of walls, piers, columns, pillars, lighthouses, and architectural works. Next, we can use stone masonry for arches, domes, lintels, and beams. Finally, we can use stone masonry for roofs, floors, paving jobs, etc. But this is a very costliest type of masonry. Next, moving on to the classification of stone masonry. See, stone blocks laid with cement or lime mortar in a systematic manner forming a structural mass is called stone masonry. We have studied the definition. It can be classified according to the thickness of joints, continuity of courses, and finish of face. The stone masonry can be classified into two categories. First one is rubble masonry and ashlar masonry. So let us see in brief the classification of stone masonry. So I have told there are two categories. First one is rubble masonry and ashlar masonry. Again, in rubble masonry, it is subdivided into 6 categories. That is uncoarse rubble masonry, coarse rubble masonry, random rubble masonry, polygonal rubble masonry, flint rubble masonry, and dry rubble masonry. This is a sub categories of rubble masonry. And we'll see ashlar masonry. In ashlar masonry, again we have a divisions. Again we have a categories. Let's see one by one. Ashlar fine masonry, ashlar rough tooled masonry, ashlar rock or quarry faced masonry, ashlar chamfered masonry, ashlar block in course masonry, finally ashlar facing masonry. These are the classification of stone masonry. You may expect this question in your examination. What are the different types of stone masonry or what are the classification of stone masonry? Next, we'll see one by one in depth. Rubble masonry. See, this consists of blocks of stones either undressed or roughly dressed and laid in suitable mortar having wider joints, which are not uniform thickness. Is called rubble masonry. See, the main difference between rubble masonry and ashlar masonry is that we will use undressed stone or roughly dressed stones in case of rubble masonry, and in case of ashlar masonry, we will use dressed stones. That is one of the main difference between rubble masonry and ashlar masonry. Okay, the strength of the rubble masonry depends on the quality of mortar, the use of long through stones at frequent interval, The proper filling of mortar between the spaces of stones, this increases the strength. Next, moving on to the subdivisions of the rubble masonry. First, we have uncoarse rubble masonry. See, in this picture, you are seeing uncoarse rubble masonry. See, there are not dressed stones. They have just used the roughly dressed stones in this case. What are the characteristics or what are the things we will see in uncoarse rubble masonry? So we will use different sizes and shapes of stones without dressing, which are directly obtained from quarry, are used in uncoarse rubble masonry. It is the roughest and cheapest form of stone masonry compared to the other types of rubble masonry. One second. Here you can observe the courses are not maintained regularly. See here, the courses are not maintained because the courses is not of equal heights. And in this case, one through stone or bond stone is used at suitable interval for lateral stability. Here you can observe, see this is a through stone. See these are the through stones we are using here. Okay, at the regular interval to increase the lateral stability of the wall. The larger stones are laid first and the spaces between them are filled with the spals. Here in this picture, it is very clear. We have used so many larger stones. These larger stones are filled with the small stone chips. It is used for construction of low boundary walls, usually. So this is a continuation here. You can observe it is a pictorial view of the uncoarse rubble masonry. Next, we will see coursed rubble masonry. The masonry work is carried out in courses. We will use some roughly dressed stones here in this case. The beds of the face stones are hammer or chisel dressed. See just the face and the beds are hammer or chisel dressed. And this is a superior type of rubble masonry. The joints are roughly uniform and broken vertically. Here you can observe this picture. Depending on the dressing and finishing of the stones, it is further divided into first class, second class, and third class masonry. Coarse rubble masonry line. ನೀವು three types ಆಗಿ divide ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. First class, second class, and third class ಅಂತ based on the dressing and finishing of the stones. It is usually used in the public buildings, hospitals, residential buildings, piers, and abutments of ordinary bridges. See here, you in this picture you can see coarse rubble masonry. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೈಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಕೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಟು uncoarse rubble masonry. Here you can observe. Next, moving on to random rubble masonry. See here, the stones have straight bed. See, straight bed and sides. The stones are squared and brought to hammer dressed or straight cut finish. In case of squared rubble masonry, say random rubble masonry, square rubble masonry, and another division. It comes under random rubble masonry. It is not necessary that the sizes of the stones or heights of all the courses should be equal. Okay, this type of masonry is slightly superior to uncoarse rubble masonry, and this type of masonry is used for constructing of residential building, godowns, and boundary walls, etc. Next type of masonry is polygonal rubble masonry. See, polygonal rubble masonry in this picture, it is very clear. The face of the wall is showing the irregular polygons. See, I think you can make it here. You can make out easily. Okay, the face joints shows various irregular polygons. Therefore, this masonry is called polygonal rubble masonry. The stones are roughly hammer dressed as irregular polygonal shapes, and it requires skilled labor and also time consuming. It is not strong as other type of rubble masonries. This is about polygonal rubble masonry. Then we'll move on to flint rubble masonry. See, flint or cobblestones are used here. Means it is generally obtained from the riverbeds or sea beaches. These stones are generally, um, it is extremely hard, but they are brittle and therefore they break easily. Wall facing is made up of cut flint stones and backing of undressed stone flints. Wall facing ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ cut flints ಆಗಿ use ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. You can see in this picture. Okay, it is known about flint rubble masonry. Yes. Next, let us see the last type of rubble masonry, that is dry rubble masonry. Picture only explains you what is dry rubble masonry. In this masonry, we are not going to use any kind of mortar, either cement mortar or lime mortar, nothing we are going to use. We will just place the larger stones at the bottom, and the largest stone, the space between the larger stones, we will fill with it stone chips. The through stones are provided at the regular intervals to increase the lateral stability of the wall. Okay, here you can see it is the cheapest construction of other types of masonry. Usually, the height of wall using this type of masonry should not exceed 6 meters. If the height more than 6 meters, then 3 adjacent courses of coarse rubble masonry should be used with a mortar and are laid with 3-meter intervals. This may be used for non-load bearing walls such as compound walls, retaining walls, pitching of earthen dams, canal slopes in the form of random rubble masonry. Okay, see here in this picture, it is clear the larger stones are provided and the space, hollow places between these larger stones are filled with the small stone chips. Okay, you must adjust that the wall should not fall. Okay, because we are not going to use mortar in this case. Next topic is ashlar masonry. The stone masonry in which finely dressed stones are laid in cement or lime mortar is known as ashlar masonry. See in this picture, it is clear the stones are well dressed. Correct? So, what are the points we are going to see in the ashlar masonry? Important points. See, this is a costlier, high grade, and superior quality of masonry. In this type of masonry, stone blocks of same heights are used. See. All the joints are regular, thin, of uniform thickness. It is costly in construction and gives perfectly smooth appearance. See, ashlar masonry. The appearance will be very good. Okay, moving on to the, let us continue the ashlar masonry, and it gives the perfectly smooth appearance. The backing of ashlar masonry walls may be built of ashlar masonry or rubble masonry to reduce the construction cost. This is superior to all types of rubble masonry, and this masonry is used for heavy structures like arches, architectural building, high piers, abutments of bridges, etc. and it is very costly compared to other type of masonries. Next, see different categories of ashlar masonry one by one. First, moving on to ashlar fine masonry. It is similar to ashlar masonry. Height. It is a superior quality of masonry, very costly. Stone blocks of same heights are used in this case. What are the points we have discussed in ashlar masonry is directly applied to ashlar fine masonry. Every stone is tooled on all sides and thickness of mortar is uniform. And in this case, width of stone should not be less than the height of the course. Also, the length of the stone should be more than 2 times the height of the course. These are the conditions how it should be. See, here I have mentioned. And generally, face stones are laid as headers and stretches alternatively. Okay, and it gives good appearance. All joints should be made up of fine mortar with a maximum thickness of 3 mm. We should use rich mortar in the ashlar masonry. It gives a satisfactory bond can be achieved because we are using uniform size of stones. This is about ashlar fine masonry. Next, we'll move on to ashlar rough tooled masonry. See, you can easily make out the difference ashlar fine and ashlar rough tooled. As name only indicates, the exposed faces of the stones are finely dressed, but the sides of the stones are rough tooled and dressed with a chisel. The sizes of stones, bond, etc. are similar to same ashlar fine masonry, and thickness of joint is uniform and not exceeding 6 mm. Next, ashlar rock or ashlar face masonry. The masonry is similar to rough tooled masonry except that there is a chisel margin you can observe here. Okay, there is a chisel margin left rough on the face kept as it is obtained from the quarry. So whatever the stones were obtained from the quarry, we will just give the chisel margin all round the stone. Then it is known as ashlar rock or ashlar quarry faced masonry. Next, let's see ashlar chamfered masonry. It is similar to quarry-faced ashlar masonry. The edges are beveled or chamfered to 45 degree. Sorry, there is a printing mistake here. It is not. It is okay. It is. See here, it is printed as 450. See, there's a printing mistake here. So this has to be 45 degree. Okay. This is 45 degree for a depth of 25 mm. Chamfered, we already know chamfered means it is a inclined inclined phase. Inclined to the angle of 45 degree. Okay. Remaining exposed surface of the facing is left undressed with a projection restricted to only 80 mm. Okay, this is about ashlar chamfered masonry. Here you can see this is the picture of the chamfered masonry. This is the image. You can see how the 2D drawing of the chamfered masonry. See, here you can see how the chamfers. This is the elevation. I can say, okay, I can make it clear. This is the elevation view of a chamfered wall, chamfered masonry wall. And this is the image, how it is seen. Okay, in the image form. Let's erase this annotations, whatever you use. Just correct this thing. Let us move on to the next topic. that is ashlar block in course masonry. See, it is the name given to a class of ashlar masonry which occupies an intermediate place between rubble and ashlar masonry. The stone face are squared and hammer dressed. It resembles coarse rubble masonry or rough tooled ashlar masonry. It is commonly used for heavy engineering works such as retaining walls, sea walls, temples, bridges, etc. Next, last term, we're going to see ashlar facing masonry. See, first observe the picture which is showing here. Ashlar masonry. The facing of the wall is constructed by ashlar masonry and the backing of the stone which is constructed by using rubble masonry. Okay, so the name only indicates ashlar facing masonry. To reduce the construction of the wall, we will go for ashlar facing masonry. This is a superior but not expensive type of stone masonry, and it reduces the cost because facing we are using ashlar masonry and backing we are using rubble masonry. This type of compound or composite masonry walls are economical. See, this is called composite masonry wall. We are using two types of masonry here, stone masonry, and two types of stone masonry we are using. We are using ashlar masonry as facing and rubble masonry as backing. Therefore, it is known as composite wall. See, if the backing is of rubble masonry, it is called rubble ashlar. If the backing is of brick masonry, then it is termed as brick ashlar masonry. The facing of stones are roughly tooled or chamfered. Okay, we are at the end slide, nearly end slide of this session. We will go through some of the MCQ which is relevant to our learning in this session. First question, the stone masonry of finely dressed stone laid in cement or lime is. Let me repeat the question. The stone masonry of finely dressed stone laid in cement or lime is. Option A, random rubble masonry. Option B, coarse rubble masonry. Option C, ashlar masonry. Option D, dry rubble masonry. Try it out for yourself. Let me give you some time. Try solving the question. So the correct answer is ashlar masonry. Option C. Okay, then we'll move it on next question. The joints of masonry in elevation shows various irregular polygonal shapes is known as. Let me repeat the question. The joints of masonry in elevation shows various irregular polygonal shapes is known as. Option A, flint rubble masonry. Option B, uncoarse rubble masonry. Option C, squared rubble masonry, and option D, polygonal rubble masonry. The answer is very simple and it is a definition of a polygonal rubble masonry. Hope it is very simple question, but it may get confused. See, the right answer is option D, polygonal rubble masonry. Okay, because the joints of masonry in the face wall are showing with irregular polygonal shapes. Obviously, it is known as polygonal rubble masonry. Okay. Let us move on to the next question. In which type of masonry the portion of face edges round the exposed face of each stone block are beveled at an angle of 45 degree? Observe the question. These are four choices given. You have to choose the most appropriate one. Ashlar query faced masonry, option A. Option B, Ashlar chamfered masonry. Option C, Ashlar block-in course masonry. And option D, Ashlar rough tooled masonry. Try solving the question. Hope you have chosen the right answer. The correct answer is option B, Ashlar chamfered masonry. Because option A is Ashlar query faced masonry. Here roughly dressed stones are used, and Ashlar block-in course masonry, it cannot be our answer because the edges are provided or it is beveled at an angle of 45 degree. So which means Ashlar chamfered masonry. Next, moving on to question number 4. The stone masonry constructed with irregular and undressed stones is known as. The stone masonry constructed with irregular and undressed stones is known as dash. Option A, uncoarsed rubble masonry. Option B, random rubble masonry. Option C, dry rubble masonry. And option D, flint rubble masonry. Write out yourself. Let me give you some time. Read the question and select the most appropriate one. Okay, I hope you have chosen the right answer. It is option A, uncoarsed rubble masonry. Okay. Hope these are the very simple question. You can try taking some of the activities in this masonry. You can identify different monuments in your locality and you can make a report of it. And you can collect different types of masonry walls photographs. Take it as an activity and do it so that you can, the things will make it clear in depth. Okay, these are the some of the MCQs I have given. Let's moving on to next slide. These are the answers along with the explanation for the MCQs we have seen till now. Next, moving on to references, the information I have shared with you is obtained from these of references. If you have time, just go through it. And finally, I grateful to whole LMS team for guiding and continuously supporting me for doing these sessions. Thank you. Thank you all. Let us continue our discussion in next session. Thank you.